WTF on Twitter. People freaked out because the Baltimore Ravens traded Hollywood Brown, a wide receiver. He wanted to be traded. And he's an erratic player who didn't play well at the end of the year and wanted to be traded. First of all, the Ravens may have had the best first round of anybody. They got the best safety and the best center at like mid-draft and late draft. By the way, they got Lamar end of the first round, so they're pretty good at the draft thing. The Ravens have built up a ton of equity with me over the years. They're always well-owned, always smartly run. They're really, honestly, it's amazing the Steelers and the Ravens are right next to each other. They are brilliantly run organizations. They built up a lot of equity to me, and Lamar Jackson's not a general manager. He's a young quarterback. So they wanted to sign him, and I think his mom is his agent. He doesn't want to sign a contract, and they're like, okay, we're going to protect ourselves here, and we think this is best for the team. And again, your resume in life is going to dictate how I view you. If you've been a good person, a stable person, a smart person, all right, well, I'm a guess. Yeah, you're making moves best for the franchise. I saw a story the other day on Bitcoin, where like 90% of the people who invest in Bitcoin, like are renters, are megalomaniacs. Yeah, it's brand new. I don't trust your judgment. I'll go with a guy that's been in the real estate business in Wall Street for 40 years and made a great living. I'm sorry. I trust the Ravens here. Hollywood Brown's an erratic wide receiver that didn't have a great end of the season. He wasn't happy and he wanted to get traded, and so they moved him. This is the reality. By the way, the Ravens hit a home run in the first round. They have 9 more picks, and it's a deep wide receiver draft. I say this all the time. If you're a good person and make a mistake on social media, I take a deep breath and go, all right, I believe they're a good person. What we have now in society is people are jerks, do one nice thing and we think they're nice, or they're wonderful people and make a mistake and the Ravens know what they're doing. They always know what they're doing. They always draft well. They always acquire well. Last year, they were the most beat-up team in the National Football League. It was crazy. I don't know what the number was. It was like 35 guys were on IR, and they were still viable because they draft well. They were still, marginally viable in a really good division that had a team make the Super Bowl. So in this instance, I don't think it's a big story. Lamar's a kid, won't sign a contract. Sometimes businesses have a right to go, we're good here, and we're gonna do what we think is best for the team. I think what they really realize is they're gonna get back to their roots here and got a good center, gonna pound the football a little bit, like to play with a lead, control the clock. That's when I think it's best for Lamar Jackson. But by the way, the division now has Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow. And Lamar doesn't want to sign a long-term contract. I could see Baltimore saying, if we don't get this quarterback thing, well, are we going to be a third, fourth place team? I mean, what if Kenny Pickett works? What if the Steelers hit a home run? So I'm on the Ravens side on this one. Joy with the news. No. Turn on. That was a really touching moment. Drops. And, Joe Burrow is the exception. The ability to go to a bad franchise and carry it. We all get that's the exception. For Kenny Pickett, this is perfect. Stability, a football coach, Mike Tomlin, that's never had a losing record, good receivers, found their back, have a tight end, great defense. This is perfect. And Kenny Pickett's not viewed as Joe Burrow. He is viewed more like Mac Jones. Come in, surround him with stability. He can manage. He is much more trailer than tractor. He's not going to pull you somewhere. He's got to be kind of pulled. He's 24, so he can play now. He's a 4-year starter, so he can play right now. Mitch Trubisky, we thought he was a bridge quarterback, may very well be a backup quarterback. That's what it feels like to me. They got Kenny Pickett to start. And I will say this, of the 5 or 6 other quarterbacks that will be taken over the next day or weekend, I highly doubt any of them get this situation. A coach that's never had a losing record? I mean, what's the Steelers' weakness? Yeah, their offensive line could be better. They addressed it last year. They'll address it this weekend. The other thing is, when I watch the draft, is when you don't have a lot of superstars in the draft, and I don't think it has one. What really becomes important, Chase Young was going to work anywhere. Right. We can do that. It's Patrick Mahomes. Eventually, we found out, well, that would work anywhere. Kansas City helps. Joe Burrow, was going to work anywhere. Andrew Luck was going to work anywhere. But if you don't have that in this draft, what really becomes important is fit. And there were 4 or 5 players I thought really, very fortunately, found the perfect spot. Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan. Doesn't go number one, not the pressure of the number one. He goes number 2 to his local team. By the way, number 2 picks. Von Miller's a 2. One of the Bosa's a 2. 2's a good spot. Not a lot of pressure. Now he goes to Detroit. It's not a dominating culture. He's not the number 1 pick. He's a local kid. They're going to be rooting for him, fan favorite, and I kind of like their momentum. The other kid is Jordan Davis, the kid from Georgia that goes to Philadelphia. I thought that was a great landing spot. First of all, he gets to play next to Fletcher Cox, who is just a great guy and a great player. Philadelphia also has a history of drafting defensive linemen doing very, very well at that position. They may miss on receivers. They are good on defensive linemen. So, again, not a lot of pressure, not a top 10 pick. He comes in, plays next to kind of a all-time, interior line guy. He's going to learn from him. They're not going to demand day one that he's dominant. Great place to land. I thought Baltimore had 2 kids, Kyle Hamilton, the safety, Tyler Linderbaum, the center. Both come in. Again, I thought they were great value picks. They'll both be starters. It's a position of need. You have a great owner, organizational stability. They won't have to star. They'll be given a year to kind of figure things out, bail a little water. They may get overwhelmed initially. It's perfect. And then there's Kenny Pickett. They've got the receivers in Pittsburgh. They got a great young tight end, an excellent young running back, a front 7. He doesn't have to carry the franchise. He doesn't have to be in shootouts. Pittsburgh's defense is elite, and Tomlin's an elite defensive coach. What they need is somebody to come in who's got a better arm than the guys they have right now, can move a little bit, who's got a lot of college starts, and will be comfortable day one. It's exactly what Kenny Pickett is. When you have a draft that doesn't have a lot of star power, landing spot becomes crucial to success. And I thought between Aiden Hutchinson, Jordan Davis, Kyle Hamilton, Kenny Pickett, and Tyler Linderbaum, great fits. I would be shocked if those guys didn't do really, really well. And who knows? Maybe some of them do become stars. A lot of people think Jordan Davis. I have 2 executives who I trust. Both thought Philadelphia got a home run. They're like, that may be the best mid-round pick of the draft. So congratulations to a very emotional Kenny Pickett. And if I have to hear about his hands anymore, can we get past the hands thing, folks? I'm just overhearing about Kenny Pickett's hands. On Mother's Day, you often struggle for the moms. What's the perfect gift to get her? How about a bouquet of roses right now? 1-800-Flowers. Mother's Day is coming up. $20 off right now, assorted tulips. There were 6 wide receivers taken in the top 20 picks. That's an NFL draft record. Receivers going everywhere. There were 9 trades in the first round. Crazy town. NFL draft record. Packers, didn't do anything. Took 2 defensive guys. Now they have 2 picks today. Not great picks, like in the 50s, kind of like yesterday, a couple of later ones. But it's interesting to watch the NFC. Lions in both free agency and the draft. Boy, they have upgraded their offensive pieces, wide receivers. Saints were aggressive yesterday, get a wide receiver. Eagles traded for A.J. Brown. Arizona, holy moly, have you seen their receiver room now? Oh, my God. They went and got Hollywood Brown. All those NFC teams. Arizona this morning, watch out, man, that's fun. All NFC teams, all went for speed, all took big risks, and Green Bay did not. Now, I will say this. Jimmy Johnson, as good a football coach as we've had, maybe ever, and a great personnel coach. Unlike Belichick, he could draft. I asked him a couple days ago on the show, ever struggle in the draft? He goes, yeah, one time when I had an older Dan Marino and I started reaching to find pieces to help him. Green Bay's like, Aaron, you're 38. You've talked 50-50 retirement. We're not going to reach to appease you. And I should say this, and we should all acknowledge this. Outside of the Jordan Love pick, they draft pretty well. Green Bay drafts pretty well. They develop pretty well. I didn't love A.J. Dillon as a second-round running back. It's a good pick. He's a good player. They draft and develop. And so I look around this morning. New England can't draft in the first round to save their life. They took an offensive guard. I made 2 calls to 2 executives. You know what they said? They said we have him as a 3rd-round grade, both of them. Super Bowl winning GM, and another great playoff GM. So listen, if you're Aaron Rodgers, and he didn't complain about it, and the Packers just historically, they don't go for running backs, they don't go for tight ends, they don't go for wide receivers in the first round, but it's one of those things when you're a great quarterback. You want everything, but no quarterback gets anything. Joe Montana, I got the world. Yeah, but he had Steve Young breathing down his neck. Brett Favre in Green Bay, it's my world. He had Aaron Rodgers breathing down his neck. Tom Brady had the rigidity of Bill Belichick. Russell Wilson's got everything. Ciara, he had a 70-year-old defensive coach. Patrick Mahomes, he's got everything. Well, I don't know. You seen that division? Just lost Tyreek Hill. Josh Allen, Colin. Josh Allen has everything. Really? You ever seen the weather in Buffalo in November, December, and January? He'll be playing in blizzards. He'd probably love to play at Arizona. Love to play in a dome. No quarterback, even the all-time greats. Joe Montana had Steve Young breathing down his neck. Tom Brady was complaining constantly. They didn't take his opinion in the game plans. Russell